So FM and Eco subject is quite a bit difficult for many of the students. Why? Because it covers both the theoretical aspect as well as the practical aspect, and even the practical aspect like the FM subject also has theory questions. So first of all, let's talk about the financial management subject. In the financial management, like my strategy for the financial management subject was quite a bit similar to the accounts, advanced accounts, and cost, obviously because it's a practical subject. So if you haven't seen my cost videos or the accounts advanced accounts videos, then you should definitely see it, because in this video I am not gonna go that much deep. So what I want to say about FM subject, in my case I was given VSI notes. So we had notes about the terms used in a particular chapter, obviously the formulas, because like in cost we have formulas in FM2. So the formulas that are used, and maybe how the a statement is prepared, the format of a statement. So that's all we were given in the VSI notes, and obviously some questions from the past papers. So what I did, like I completed my lectures, and what I did after that is I just read the notes of a particular chapter, and then I solved the ICI module. How ICI module? Like I first saw the illustration. First, while solving the illustrations, I just ticked down all the illustrations which I wasn't able to do in the first attempt. Like if it was if it was a bit difficult for me, or if I took much time that should have been taken, or if there is a particular adjustments which is a bit difficult, and the whole question is easy, but there is a particular adjustment which I cannot think of, or which is a bit difficult, then I used to mark that particular adjustment and not the whole question. So that's how I cut down the cut down whole the syllabus to around 30 to 40%, because 60 to 70% questions were easy and could be done with the help of the formulas or the statements which I had. So the problem was only in 30 to 40%. So you can do that if you are able to solve those questions in your mind, or just simply tick like there is an adjustment. Then I just used to think in my mind like where this adjustment would be adjusted, and then I would check whether my solution is correct or not, and if it is correct then it's fine. If it's not correct, then I would mark that particular adjustment for further revision. That's how I did. So if you can do that, then it's great. And if you are like if you have a practice of writing, like you cannot solve your questions without writing, then you should only solve those questions which seems hard to you. You should first read the question and then analyze whether you find it easy or hard. If it's easy, then you can obviously solve it on calculator. Yes, I used to solve them on calculator to check, or just a rough work I used to do, like I used to write all the amounts, and then I used to total minus whatever we have to do. So you can do that, and if you find it hard, then you can obviously solve that question. And the questions which take more time, or which are not solved by you correctly in the first attempt, should be marked, and rest of the question should be unmarked. So I did that in the FM also. And for the revision, this is how I did my first reading. First of all, I read the notes, and then I started solving all the questions, and the questions which are a bit lengthy or which cannot be done by me are marked. So this is how I did my first reading. And talking about my revisions, I only first of all I would see the notes of the chapter, and then you have to learn the formulas, you have to learn the format of any statement if it's there. And like you have to cram the formulas, obviously, because without formulas you cannot even solve one question correctly. So you have to learn all the formulas. So I made sure in my syllabus that I had revised all the formulas thoroughly, and then I used to only see those questions which I have marked, or only the adjustments which I have marked, to see what is the correct adjustment, what is the correct solution of that adjustment. So this is what I did in my revisions. Like every time I revise, I would first revise the notes of every chapter, and then in every chapter, wherever I have marked those questions, I will revise only the marked questions and not the unmarked. And talking about which books you have to refer, how many whether you have to solve old syllabus PM, or you have to do any reference book. So I will continue the same legacy in my old videos. That let me tell me about myself. I did a ICI module, the VSI booklet we were given, and the past question papers like RTPs, MTPs, and past year question papers. So after giving the exams, I definitely feel that ICI module is just enough. ICI module, I repeat, ICI module is just enough, because we have to do 5 questions in FM, and all the 5 questions were from ICI module. If not from ICI module, then from nowhere else. Either the question was fresh or from ICI module. So you cannot obviously you cannot always obviously practice the fresh questions, because they are not made till now. So you can definitely practice the ICI module. So I will repeat all the things, that you should have 100% accuracy in the ICI illustrations and the ICI practice questions which are on the back exercise. All the questions that are in the ICI module, I repeat, all the questions that are in the ICI module should be done by you, and you should have 100% accuracy in those modules, in those questions. So this was about which books you have to refer. And about 1.5 days before exams, I used to do the same thing. I used to first read the VSI notes, and then quickly skim through all the marked questions which have all the marked questions, to see their solutions. And yes, I forgot one thing, that before the exams, not 1.5 before the 1.5 days before the exams, before 1 to 2 weeks before exams, what you have to do, you have to skim through, like you have to quickly skim through all the questions which are left unmarked by you, because these questions were read by you around 70 to 80 days before, when you did your first reading or the revision, or maybe 30 to 40 days before. So these questions are out of your mind now. I'm talking about the unmarked question, because marked questions, obviously you are perfect in the marked questions, because you have been revising it from quite a long time. So for the unmarked questions, you have to quickly skim through all the unmarked questions, like 60 to 70%. Obviously the questions are many, but you will have to do it, because if the unmarked questions comes in the exams, then it will be a fresh question for you, a new question, because it's obviously out of your memory. So what you have to do, you have to quickly skim through all the unmarked questions to get an overview, and if it comes in the exam, then obviously it's an advantage to you. So this was 1.5 days and before exams. And now talking about the exams, you have to definitely maintain your speed in the FMA Eco paper, because it's quite obviously all the CA intermediate paper, or I say all the CA papers are quite lengthy, and this is also a lengthy paper, so you have to maintain your speed from the beginning. Like I decided that I would give around 1.5 hours, matlab 1.5 घंटे, 1.5 hours to the FM paper and the 1.5 hours to the Eco paper. And I remember it was around in the actual exams, I took one hand 45 minutes for the FM paper and 1 and 15 minutes for the Eco paper. So I guess it was enough, because obviously see my marks, because 40 out of 40 in Eco is not it's a big deal. So this was my FM strategy. You will say that it's quite a bit similar to the cost strategy or the accounts and advanced account strategy. That's correct, because it's a practical paper, and a quite lot of similarities with the cost, because in cost we do have formulas, and in FM we do have formulas. So the FM paper, the main thing you have to remember, you have to look upon, you have to stress upon, is the formulas, because the formulas you remember, the well you will do in your exams, the less time you will take to solve the questions, because you will think you will enter the exam hall, and you will start and one paper, and when the paper comes and you start thinking about the formulas, like what was the formula of this, and you take time, then obviously your exam paper would not get finished. So obviously you should definitely learn thoroughly the formulas of Inigo. And talking about mock test, you like I gave obviously 4 mock tests, so that compensated my writing practice, which I didn't had. So if you are not having like, obviously I would suggest for a mock test, like you should definitely have 2 to 3 mock tests per subject. And if you are not having that mock test, then you should definitely have a writing practice, a time bound writing practice, or you can take yourself your mock test. It's quite easy. So this was all about the financial management, I could say. Talking about my economics for finance part, what I did, I think like my strategy for economics for finance part was a combination of the audit strategy and the law strategy. If you haven't seen my audit or law videos, then you can definitely check it out, because in them I have covered it in detail. So here I will not go that deep. So what I did in if you see economics for finance, there are concepts and there are things which you cannot understand. I guess there are less things which you cannot understand. 90 or 80% of the things are based on concepts and based on your understanding of the topic. And talking about how to learn those things, there are types of there are 2 types of paragraphs. One that are in lines, that are in sentences, like a topic there which is covered in paragraphs, and another topic is covered in points. So what I did, suppose there is a paragraph on moral hazard. I guess it was moral hazard. So there is a paragraph. Moral hazard has around, it was a 1 page topic, I guess, moral hazard. So what I did is, you don't have to learn all the topics. First of all, I will talk about planning. So what I did, I chose only those topics which were covered in the past year papers or the RTPs, MTPs, and or which were ticked by our like faculty. So obviously, if you are going to your any tuition classes, then they would have marked you some topics which are important, so you can take them. Or if you are self-studying, then you can check out past MTPs, RTPs, or the question papers, the topics that are covered in the past papers, obviously are important. So what I did is, first of all, I marked all those topics which are covered in those papers or ticked by my faculty, and I started reading those topics. So suppose there is a topic, suppose first of all we will take the paragraph topic. Suppose there is moral hazard, and there are 4 to 5 paragraphs on the topic moral hazard, and the topic is marked by me, like which is to be done by me. So first of all, I would read all the paragraphs given in the moral hazard topic to get an understanding of the concept, like what is moral hazard. The name doesn't suggest its meaning. So obviously I will have to read, or I used to read all the paragraphs and develop a understanding of the concept. Once I developed the understanding of the concept, I used to take 1 paragraph or maximum 2 paragraphs that are to be thoroughly read by me. So I will ignore the last paragraphs and I will take the first 1 or maximum 2. If the content is less in the first paragraph about the topic, then I will take a second paragraph also. Okay, so what I did is, I will take 2 paragraphs maximum and I will divide the paragraph into points. Now how I will divide the paragraph? After every sentence I will make a new point. Suppose there is a sentence which is running like this, and there is a full stop, and then second sentence starts. So I will write there first, then after the full stop I will write second, and after next full stop I will write third. So I will divide that paragraph into points. Okay, and I will write with the pencil 1, 2, 3, 4 about points. Now what I will do, I will try to translate that English into Hindi in my mind, and obviously I would try to learn all those points in Hindi, not in English. I will try to learn those points in English, in Hindi, or you can do it in your own mother tongue. Like my mother tongue was obviously Hindi, so I used to learn those points in Hindi. Like whenever anyone would say moral hazard, then those points would come in my mind in Hindi, all the points. At least suppose there is a sentence, so at least 1 word in every sentence I will remember in Hindi, or maybe I will remember whole sentence in Hindi. And what I did, I did this. I learned all the points in Hindi, and then I will read the paragraph, one or two paragraph what I have marked. I will read those paragraph 2 to 3 times with full concentration to get to grasp the language of the content, how the content is drafted. This is not law, so we don't have to learn that language, because obviously the language is simple English. So I would just try to get a idea of how the content is drafted. So I would just do that to 2 or 3 readings with concentration in English to just get an idea of how the content is drafted, and I have already memorized the points in Hindi. So this is how I did the topics, one by one topic I did like this. And obviously for points, as I said in audit, you can link one point to another, or you can also make your acronym, or you can also do that, like you can learn those points in Hindi and just read 2 to 3 times for just understanding how the content is drafted. So you can also do that, like you can learn all the points in Hindi to if anyone says that topic like benefits of pollution tax, then you at least remember all the points in Hindi. Okay, and then you read the content in 2 to 3 readings of the content. So this is how I completed my first reading of all the topics. Obviously there are many things in economics for finance which you can leave, which are not important, and it is your wiseness or your decision which topics are to be chosen and which topics are to be left. And so you can say that I was lucky that I was lucky that the topics which I have left were not asked in the exam, or if asked, I had an option, so I left that question. So you have to choose that. I have given you a hint that you can choose those topics from the RTPs, MTPs, past question papers, or if your faculty has given it to you. So this was my first reading. Talking about revision, I did the same thing. First of all, I would read that whole topic. I gave the example of moral hazard. So the 2 paragraphs which I have marked, I will read those paragraphs thoroughly, with concentration, and then I will try to recall those points in Hindi, and then I will again read those 2 paragraphs. So you don't have time in your revision, so you can just do the 2 reading and 1 recall. And remember, I have said this to you earlier also, that when you are starting your revision, then directly don't start with recalling of what you have learned what you have learned in your past, because obviously you cannot remember that thing. Like I am doing I have done my first reading of eco in 10 days. Like I am giving an example. Actually it was FM and eco, FM plus eco in 10 days. First reading, not revision. First reading was in 10 days of both FM and eco. So like all the subjects I did like this. So obviously it 8 subjects, so 80 days. So you cannot recall a thing which you have learned 70 days before. So what I did is when you are revising, first of all read the topic, read the paragraphs you have marked, and then try to recall. Don't directly start like, okay, this is moral hazard and I will recall what I have learned 70 days before. You are not a superhuman, man. You are not a superhuman. So what you have to do, moral hazard, read those 2 paragraphs, and then try to recall what you have learned in Hindi, and then just read all the 2 paragraphs. That's enough. So this is how I did my revision 2 to 3 times. Whatever I gave, obviously I have told you that I have given 4 mock tests, so I revised 4 times like this. And talking about 1.5 days before exams, what I did is I just schemed through all the topics. Like suppose it is moral, I don't know why I'm remembering moral hazard only. So suppose it is moral hazard, then I quickly run my eyes through the paragraph which I have marked. Like as I said in the beginning, there were 4 to 5 paragraphs in moral hazard, but I have only chosen 2 paragraphs for me to understand or to learn the points in Hindi. So I will never read those last 3 to 4 paragraphs again, never. And obviously there were many topics which I have left. So it is your decision which topics you should choose and which topic you should leave. I will definitely advise, do not leave those benefits, advantages, disadvantages topics which are in points. You have to definitely do all the topics that are in points. Okay. Now you have to decide which topics you have to leave in the paragraph part. So this is my 1.5 days before exams, a quick scheming, because I have to do financial management also. So obviously a quick scheming of all the topics. And ego subject is quite a bit vast in syllabus, because it's, I guess, 5 chapters and 20 units or 16. I don't remember actually. It was around 16 units or 20 units. In each chapter average it was 4 to 5 units. So it is a quite a big syllabus to be done in 10 days with the FM and eco FM part. So there was you can say that I didn't have time to cover all the syllabus, so that's why I decided to do like I guess I around did 70% syllabus. I did 70% of the syllabus and I scored 40 out of 40. So you can say it's quite a luck, but obviously it was my wiseness or my decision what topics are to be chosen, what topics are to be left. Okay, so it would be your decision. Now don't please don't ask me to tell me your topics, tell me the topics, because obviously it was a one time chance or luck, you can say. Don't think that all the papers are luck. It may be because things happen, and I will definitely share the certified copies. They have come to me, and after this video I will first of all share the audit copy which you were all asking about me. And if you're I have read 2-3 comments about my US accent. Actually, when I was in school 7th or 8th, then there was a teacher who was speaking like that. So she actually prepared me for the what do we say that online competition, for the elocution competitions. Yes, she prepared me for the elocution competition, so I actually grasped that content, the way of speaking, her way of speaking, and I actually like that. So that has been inbuilt in my voice, or it's been a default setting, so I cannot help with that. And this is, I guess, it's over. Talking about a paper presentation, obviously if you have seen my videos, then I have said in them, and I'm continuing that even if the paragraph, even if like moral hazard topic, and suppose they have asked what is moral hazard in 2 marks, then obviously I won't write those answer in 2 paragraphs. I will divide those paragraph and write that answers in points, and after every point I will leave 2-line gap. Like I will share the paper presentation so you can definitely understand more what I want to say. So never write your answers in points. Oh, sorry, paragraph. Write your answers in points, because that is a good paper presentation technique, and you will definitely get good marks. And who want good marks? Who doesn't want good marks? You want, so you will get it. So write all the answers in points. Any theory paper, write all the answers in points, be it audit, be it law, be it eco and EIS, SM, write all the answers in points. Because why I'm saying in points, because the suggested answers are also given in points. Like, I don't know, I'm just guessing. In VSI, at least in VSI, we were given all the suggested answers in points, even the paragraph questions. So I am just wondering, or I am just hoping that the examiners are also given the suggested answers in points. So if you write in point, then they will just check that this point is there in suggested answer and this point is there in my answer. So they will check, tick. If you are writing in the paragraph, and if she sees a third point in his suggested answer, then he will have to look for in the paragraph where you have written that third point. And if he cannot find it, even if you have written it, and if he cannot find it, if the examiner cannot find it, then he will obviously not give you the marks. So this was the things which I wanted to tell you in the FM and Eco subject, and this is the last subject series. like about every subject. Now I will now onwards I will tell about my certified copies and articleship, something about articleships, like interview cracking or resume, and all that, and about my intermediate journey, like how I maintained my confidence during the COVID time, how I actually planned my day, my month, or my revisions, the mock test, and how had I keep myself pumped up and all the things. So this was all for this video. Looking forward to see you in next videos as well. So my motivation line इतना सा आएगा और इसी में से पढ़ना है. थैंक यू. बस दुआओं में याद रखना. बाय.